Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the slumber party. Today, I wanted to talk about mounds in America, specifically today in Florida, which is where I live. So, I just typed in mounds in Florida to see what would come up, and we have a lot. And I noticed that if I zoom in, more even show up, like the ones in Central Florida. So, one specifically that I wanted to look at was Horr's Island, which is down here. Horr's Island is a significant archaic period archaeological site located on an island in southwest Florida, formerly known as Horr's Island. Horr's Island, now called Key Marco, not to be confused with the archaeological site Key Marco, is on the south side of Marco Island in Collier County, Florida. The site includes 4 mounds and a shell ring. It has one of the oldest known mound burials in the eastern United States, dating to about 3,400 radiocarbon years before present. One of the mounds has been dated to as early as 6700 BP. It was the largest known community in the southeastern United States to have been permanently occupied during the Archaic period. The island is named for Captain John Foley Horr, who raised pineapples on the island in the late 19th century. The Captain John Foley Horr house was listed on the U.S. National Register of Historic Places on October 8, 1997. In the late 1980s, a development company planned to build a bridge to Horr's Island and develop it. In response to state law requiring an archaeological assessment of the island before it could be developed, the development company funded a research project. The research team carried out excavations for 3 months. 4 mounds were identified on Horr's Island, but mounds B and C were found to be simple middens and were not investigated in depth. What's a midden? If you're wondering, a midden is an old dump for domestic waste, which may consist of animal bone, human excrement, botanical material, mollusk shells, potsherds, lithics, and other artifacts and ecofacts associated with past human occupation. A flexed burial was found in Mound B. What's a flexed burial? Burial, also known as interment or inhumation, is a method for final disposition whereby a dead body is placed into the ground, sometimes with objects. This is usually accomplished by excavating a pit or trench, placing the deceased and objects in it, and covering it over. There's more to it, but the other 2 mounds were complex and appeared to be purposely constructed. Mound A, the largest at 20 feet in height, had a large pile of shells at its core. There was no evidence of prior habitation on the ground surface where the shells had been piled. Several layers of sand had been added over the shells. 1 layer of sand had charcoal added. The additions of sand by individual baskets could be distinguished by the variations in the amount of charcoal in the sand. The final layer of sand had shells mixed in it, and the mound was topped by another layer of shells. Let's go over the shell ring. There was more you guys could read there if you'd like. The Horr's Island site included a shell ring in which shell middens surrounded. What's a shell midden? Well, I guess the same thing as a regular midden. Surrounded a central open space. A large number of shell rings from the late Archaic period are found along the southern South Carolina and Georgia coast, with a few scattered along the coast of the Florida Peninsula, and along the northern coast of the Gulf of Mexico as far west as the Pearl River. Shell rings were associated with the earliest known sedentary settlements along the coast of the southeastern United States. The shell ring at Horr's Island was an elongated horseshoe shape. It was one of the few sites where a shell ring is definitely associated with ceremonial mounds. The shell ring was 160 by 100 meters, and the central area or plaza was 125 meters at its widest. It's pretty wide. The middens making up the ring were up to 3 meters high, 10 feet high, 9 feet. The shell ring has been dated to between 4,800 and 4,200 before present. Tools and dwellings. No evidence of pottery was found at Horr's Island. Wood, fiber, and hide products were not preserved in the sandy soil, but bones were preserved very well. The only tools that survived were made from stone and shell, as there is no local supply of stones that will take and keep an edge. The people made many tools from shells. A single point of chert was found in the excavations and probably was a trade item from elsewhere. Grooved slabs of sandy limestone and small round stones that fit in the grooves may have been used to sharpen shell tools and grind seeds or dried fish. Shells were used as hammers, awls, celts, and digging tools, and as bowls, dippers, and spoons. What is an awl? Oh, it's a stitching awl. Interesting. Celt. Like an axe. Food. Bones recovered in the excavation included 74 species of fish and shellfish, but only 8 species of land animals. Oysters were the most common food consumed. Other shellfish included quahogs, the hard clam also known as the quahog, round clam or hard shell clam, is an edible marine bivalve mollusk that is native to the eastern shores of North America and Central America from Prince Edward Island to the Yucatan Peninsula. Surf clams. Scallops. Whelks. I didn't know you could eat whelks. Conch. The large number of fish bones recovered allowed for detailed analysis. Almost all the fish were small and of the same size. The archaeologists theorized that the fish were caught in nets with a mesh size of about a quarter inch, as the nets would have had to be pulled by hand. Bigger fish would have been able to escape by leaping over the net or swimming away before the net was closed. Carbonized plant seeds were found in hearths and living areas. These included, I might have pronounced that wrong, the tiny seeds of a panicoid grass and a sea grape, cocoa plum, prickly pear, and wild grape. Permanent occupation. Some of the fish and shellfish caught and eaten by the inhabitants of Horr's Island gave clues as to what time in the year they were caught. The 3 most common kinds of fish in the Horr's Island diet, catfish, threadfin, heron, and pinfish, were caught while immature. The time of the year when they were caught is indicated by the average size of a group of harvested fish. Bay scallops disappear from the area each winter, and new scallops start growing in the spring. So the size of the scallop shells also indicates the time of the year when they were gathered. Finally, quahogs have seasonal bands in their shells, which can be used to determine what season or even what month the quahog was gathered. Analysis of the bones and shells found at the site indicate that quahogs were gathered in the winter and spring. Scallops were gathered in the summer, and the fish were caught mainly in the fall, but also in winter and summer. The archaeologists concluded that Horr's Island was occupied year-round during the late Archaic period. Horr's Island is the largest known community in the southeastern United States to be permanently occupied during the Archaic period. So while researching Horr's Island, I found... Let's go to Horr's Island real quick. So let's look at the mounds. This is the island. Let's see if we can see the mound somehow. I'm doing this on my laptop. I wish I had a mouse with me so I could circle around this easier. I'm gonna zoom out so we can get more of a on top view. There's another island called Dismal Key over here that I'm going to show you guys also before the video's over. I need to buy a mouse. I'm learning. Oh, here we go. I can go like this. Well, I don't know what I just did, but Let's go back to Horr's Island. Are these the mounds? Oh, that must be a house. Yeah, those are houses. So what's this? The perspective of looking at this stuff from above. It's pretty cool. Alright, so let's just spend one more minute here. See if we can find the mounds. This is the Highland Point. I'll have to come here and explore and film it for you guys. Well, you guys can check it out on your own. Just go to Google Earth. But the other thing I wanted to bring up was Dismal Island. Or Dismal Key. I never even heard of it. I've lived in Florida most of my life. In this area. And I'll show you guys what Dismal Key is. Dismal Key. Dismal Key is a small island part of the 10,000 Islands archipelago on the Gulf of Mexico on the coast of Florida. The island is artificial, constructed by people of the Glades culture. Construction of the island proceeded in stages over some 15,000 years following the end of the Archaic period in Florida. Occupation probably ended a couple of centuries before the arrival of Europeans in Florida. Dismal Key was occupied by several hermits in the 20th century. A hermit or eremite is a person who lives in seclusion. Eremitism plays a part in several sects, orders, and communities within a variety of religions. I didn't know that. So, this is artificial. That's what caught my eye and ear about it. How do I just want to get higher on this. Having a mouse, I need a mouse for this. Yeah. Alright, just take me back to it. So, I wanted to end the video on Dismal Key because people made this thousands of years ago. They probably made all of these. I mean, if they made this, they probably made every single one of these. And let's just think about it. Have you ever made an island? I haven't. I've never made an island. And when most people probably think thousands of years ago, they're probably not thinking they're constructing earthworks such as islands. So I just wanted to touch on that. You know, what if all of this is artificially created? So yeah, feel free to explore it, you guys. I found it super interesting. I just wanted to share it with you guys. Maybe I will take a jet ski or a boat out there as I live in this area and explore it and film it for you guys. If you'd like for me to do that, please smash the like button, comment below, and subscribe. Thanks for watching and listening, you guys, and I'll see you very soon. Peace and love.